Hello YouTubies, this is Joker Scribe and thanks for watching one of my awesome YouTube videos. And I've got some pretty good news for you guys and girls out there on YouTube. Three young women have been rediscovered, who have been thought to have been dead for a long time, murdered by abductors or somebody just got hold of them and killed them. But no, they've been rediscovered. They are still alive. Brilliant story. I love that. I love when that happens in the world, when something turns out all right in the end. Of course, it's not brilliant. It's not the best scenario that could ever happen, but it is the best scenario that could happen in this situation. Don't forget that this is actually good news that has happened because they've been found alive. They can go back to their family and celebrate Christmases. They can go back and celebrate birthdays and they can start the recovery of all this. While the three perverts can get beaten up in a cell where they can get owned on a regular basis themselves. I can't wait for that to happen. I can't wait to read in the story that they've, been across the face by some of the prison inmates for being dirty, scruffy little. Can't mention it on YouTube. But I can't wait for that to happen. I'm glad that these three women have been found. I'm glad that they've been found healthy and they can start the recovery process. And they've been reunited with the families. Brilliant. Now, let me get into the crux of this video because this is the part which had me thinking, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Apart from the fact that they're being found alive, there was this man who discovered them. He came to the house and noticed that one of them was just so happened to be near the front door trying to escape. Okay, he was out of his neighborhood and he looks a bit like that type of person who would, you want to keep your house locked under a fortress, with security guards around. If I had him around my house, I would want him to not be there, perhaps. But then again, thinking about it, he's just saved those girls' lives. So, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not sure how to take this. What was he doing there? Was he trying to break into the house? Let's just admit it. Everybody thinks he was trying to rob that house. Anybody who disagrees with me there, look at him. What do you think he was doing there? He just so happened to be in the area at the time. He just so happened to be at the front door, and the woman just so happened to be trying to escape. And he just so happened to kick the front door in pretty easily. Right, okay. This all makes perfect sense. He just so happens to be the hero in all this. You know what I mean? I think he was trying to burgle the house, if I'm being honest, and he just so happened to come across three locked doors in the house, and he thought, I wonder what's in those rooms. So he started kicking each door with a bat or something. I don't know what he was using. He's probably using a sledgehammer. And then he discovered what the real truth was, and he thought, oh my God, I think I broke into the wrong house. But hey, I can actually sell this to the national press and make a book out of this. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. How am I supposed to take this? The story has so many flaws to it with where he's concerned. He's the hero, but he's sort of an anti-hero. He wasn't intending to be the hero. He was intending probably to be the burglar of the house. But it's all turned out okay. It's actually turned out to be better than okay because he's he's sort of, how can I put it? He's it's very difficult to actually put that into words. He's a burglar, but he's actually helped three people be reunited with families. I mean, who says burglars don't do the right things now and again? Who says criminals don't do the right things now and again? Unless they're in politics. I really don't know how to take it. What's anybody supposed to say about that? If you say, "Oh, he's not up to something good," people would say, "Oh, he's actually saved three people's lives." Yeah, he has, but perhaps. But then again, he's also a thug himself, probably, and he just so happens to be breaking into the house where he has saved these three women's lives. Theoretically speaking, of course. It's turned out okay, of course. And of course, these few women will have some healing to do, unfortunately, but they are still alive. And it brings me on to the next point of the video, right? Don't forget that this is only the tip of the iceberg. I would suspect strongly that this is not the only case in the world. I said this before when in 2009 that woman, well, she was a woman then, was found, and I'm not sure who she was actually called, but there was also another case where another woman was put into a cellar by a father as well. I don't think these are the only cases in the world. I think this is happening quite a lot in every single country, but it's very difficult to actually regulate it, to actually find these people. Abduction cases don't necessarily end in murder. If the body's never discovered, for instance, that must mean that somewhere out there somebody is still alive and may be found one day. And I think that might actually turn out to be good news. Somebody somewhere will be reunited with a family member at some point. It's not terrible news, is it, if that happens? But in cases like this, we have to look on the grand scheme of things. They're being found, they're being reunited with their families, and they have also at least are going to enjoy the rest of their lives with, of course, some psychological assessments and help. As for the folks who kidnapped them, they're going to have the time of their lives in prison, I'm sure. So people can take this video either way. I think it's good news, and I also think that the families are going to be relieved that they're still alive. Great.